the stealing and how that has affected. Francisco?
Yes, hi Jorge. I hope you are having a great vacation week. I hope you enjoying your break. Thank you, Adrian, for having me. Thank you, Blanca. Thank you, everyone, the staff of 89.3 FM. As Jorge mentioned in Spanish, there is a combination of problems. The stealing of gas from the docks that move the gasoline and diesel from the processing parts of Pemex, Petróleos Mexicanos, that very soon, under the energetic reform initialized by President Peña Nieto, are going to become privatized.
Right, the privatization.
The privatization of the government oil system that for more than 50 years, President Lázaro Cárdenas declared the oil industry as a part of the nation and Mexican population patrimony. So it's a very huge challenge when the impact of this privatization industry is carrying a lot of different situations, like the stealing of gasoline, like the Jorge Busso mentioned, the unions, sindicatos. The union of oil companies in Mexico is very prominent because they used to have the power to decide many things on the government.
So tell us a little bit more about that. Do we have, when you mentioned the unions, is the problem that you have corruption or that they take their piece? Is that what is happening with the unions?
Well, union is a huge network because they put congressmen, they put senators, and they have a strong influence on the official party that you mentioned, Adrian, for 60 years was ruling Mexico.
Right.
So when this challenge is coming on and nobody is prepared to face this situation, and many people that used to live and make a lot of money from that corruption network under the PRI.
Right.
So, and President Peña Nieto introduced, when the PRI came back to the government, the Reforma Energética, new energetic reform,
Right.
trying to take away the corruption because the Reforma has good basis. They are trying to avoid many unnecessary expenses. They are trying to avoid corruption. They are trying to avoid political networks.
Jorge, how does that, I mean, I hear what Francisco is saying, but we also know that the people who are suffering are el pueblo, the people of the country, because of very high oil prices now. And we know that the politicians, they just gave themselves another bono. Now I think diputados in Mexico, you have aguinaldo, 140 million, bono navideño, 150 million, apoyo, 141 million, and they just gave themselves another raise, 109 million. They're making 550 million, which roughly is about 300 about politicians, and of course also the everything goes up because when gasoline goes up, then delivery costs of food and everything else goes up, and also the dollar has been rising against the peso. There have been devaluations of the Mexican peso, 20 to $1. So and also the Federal Reserve. The person that's in charge of the Federal Reserve is going to be leaving his position, and there will be a lot of other problems that will be coming up. The Secretary of State that actually had a role in inviting Donald Trump. Jorge believes there will be a lot of stuff happening in the next 3 months that are going to be negative to Mexico. I think we're going to take a small pause and we'll be back. Vamos a tomar una pausa. Está usted escuchando Más Allá de las Fronteras, the people of Latin America and the Caribbean today, aquí en WRFG 88.3. No se nos vaya. Don't go away. Thanks. So, government, they are going to be very evident in about the next 3 months. We're talking about the price of gasoline going up tremendously. There was a quote here that gasoline in the next year is going to go up by 14 to 20%. And that is huge for the people who barely are making it. Also, there's a big problem of smog in Mexico. and they still have some. If you have a car and you have the decal, you don't get to drive every other day. I mean, that's when you can drive every other day. But Jorge, we were talking about the problems, and when the gas goes up, also the food, because it has to be delivered and everything else. The canasta básica, the basic food for a family, apparently is going to be going up 15 to 20%, or it has gone up 15 to 20%. So not only do you have all of these problems, now the food is more expensive in Mexico, Jorge? Going to impact because of a lot of the mistakes that this government of Peña Nieto has done, has made, that has made the situation worse. ¿Es eso más o menos lo que dijiste, verdad, Jorge? Okay. Right. Uh-huh. Wow. Claro. Okay. Déjame traduzco. Okay. Okay, so there's a lot of names that have been now starting in 2017 to be thrown around, tossed around, because in 2018, given the election that we just had here with the former wife, with Hillary, and then with Bernie Sanders, can we say that Andrés Manuel López Obrador is a Bernie Sanders kind of figure?
No. No, sorry for interrupt everyone. What happens is López Obrador used to be and begins his career as a politician under the PRI candidate, and he ran for a candidate of governor of Tabasco, his native state. So when he saw that the PRI do not include him anymore on the list for candidates, he changed to the partido, sorry, to the partido of PRD that was founded by the father of the oil industry, the General Lázaro Cárdenas.
Oh, okay.
And everybody enhanced because Cuauhtémoc Cárdenas Solórzano, the son of the General Lázaro Cárdenas, started this party with a group of very prominent politicians like Muñoz Ledo, like López Obrador, and several Jorge Peñalosa, and many, many leftists, like you call here in English language. But these people, for example, in the latest years, when López Obrador was mayor of Mexico City, he used to drive a very small car.
Okay.
He doesn't have a driver, but he likes to run for president.
Right.
Right now that he having chance to win the election, his son is driving a Lamborghini in Mexico City.
Okay.
And there are many confused situations behind it.
So the PRD party is known as a left-wing party, a liberal party. Jorge, and get your input here too. So, but now, but I still understand there are leftists, but they're not a Bernie Sanders party. They are in bed with the Lázaro Cárdenas, who was one of the founders of the oil company.
His son,
His son.
Cuauhtémoc Cárdenas.
Cuauhtémoc. Cuauhtémoc, I thought he was a good guy. Cuauhtémoc Cárdenas, not somebody, a good guy?
Yeah, he ran as a governor of
Okay.
Michoacán, and he was very prominent candidate. He ran and almost win the election, and almost beat
Right.
Carlos Salinas de Gortari, the very polemic
Cuauhtémoc
night.
Cárdenas. Okay. So, Jorge, your opinion, ¿cómo ves tú aquí? ¿No crees, estás de acuerdo? Are you also go along with the idea that Andrés López Obrador is no Bernie Sanders? No es